Werner. Hello, Mailer, Werner. Settle down. Sign our house. Agnes, settle. Andreas, settle down. Lucky, Hedge, Christian Terrace. Town Pines. Center. Yellow Farm. Griffin Farm. Yellow Peter, Griffin House. Eva, said we want to have Griffin Farm. Peter, Town Pines. Andreas, Griffin Farm. Yellow Farm. Zimmer House. Church and Terrace. Settle down, Griffin House. Floss, Settling, Andreas. Friends, Fire, Mill, Thomas. Friends, Fire, Mill, Friend, Cott, Brigitte, France, Brigitte. Cott, Brigitte, Cott, Friends, Fire, Church and Terrace. Thomas, said you. Andreas, Mill. Else. Else says good morning. Ah. Forgive me, I've forgotten your name. Player says Andreas Mailer, master artist. Else says oh, a master at such a young age? It's impressive. Option 1 of 2 WELL, I admit, I'm not quite a master yet, still finishing my masterpiece. Option 2 of 2 indeed so. Option 1 of 2 WELL, I admit, I'm not quite a master yet, still finishing my masterpiece. Else says what is that like? Option 1 of 2 fulfilling a dream. Option 2 of 2 hard work, but it pays off in the end. Option 1 of 2 fulfilling a dream. Else says ah. I wish I could dream. Option 1 of 2 while you can. You have the right, just like anyone. Option 2 of 2 it's not for everyone. Option 1 of 2 while you can. You have the right, just like anyone. Else says to do what? I've my family to care for. Lenhart. Paul, my sweet angel. The Mill. Option 1 of 2 I apologize, we didn't even get properly introduced. You must be Else Millerin? Option 2 of 2 you're the miller's wife? Option 1 of 2 I apologize, we didn't even get properly introduced. You must be Else Millerin? Else says yes, that's me. I heard Clara and Eva had an artist boarding with them. That must be very exciting. Option 1 of 2 they treated me very well. Option 2 of 2 they seem to enjoy having someone new in the home. Option 1 of 2 they treated me very well. Else says perhaps Eva more than Clara? Oh. I only meant, living on a farm, among the townspeople. Isn't it very lively? Option 1 of 3 only when Peter starts raving about the miller's toll. Option 2 of 3 only when ill Peter wakes in the night and can't find the chamber pot. Option 3 of 3 so far it seems a life like most others. Option 1 of 3 only when Peter starts raving about the miller's toll. Else says oh dear. Player says Ursula brings some joy to the household, though. Else says such a lovely little girl. I pray the Lord may someday bless us with a daughter. Lenhart says Else. Have you finished with your gabble? There's work that needs doing. Else says oh no. I'm sorry, I have to get to my labors. Player says of course. I apologize if I've bothered you. Until later, Mistress Millerin. Else says until then. Else. Pet stot Paul. Paul says Player says Paul, right? I don't think we've talked before. I'm Andreas. I'm staying with the Gerdners. Paul says oh. But you're not a farmer. Why are you living with the farmers? Player says they're letting me board with them while I work in the Abbey's scriptorium. Paul says you're a monk. Option 1 of 2 sometimes I wish I were, but no. Option 2 of 2 I am an artist. Paul says oh. Like you do drawings? Player says drawing, painting, calligraphy. If it goes in a book, I can put it there. Paul says oh. Is that, how do you get money? Option 1 of 3 I help the abbot with the scriptorium's commissions. Option 2 of 3 I loan the abbot my time, and when I'm not working his commissions, I work on my masterpiece. Option 3 of 3 WHAT. Option 2 of 3 I loan the abbot my time, and when I'm not working his commissions, I work on my masterpiece. Player says art is a job, just like being a miller is a job. But it's also a calling. Beauty brings me closer to God. Paul says I didn't. My dad says. My dad says drawing's stupid. It's not worth anything. Option 1 of 2 your dad's wrong. Option 2 of 2 do you like to draw? Paul? Paul says yes. More than anything. But I have to do it where Dad can't see. He gets mad. Player says I'm sorry to hear that. Option 1 of 2 but if it means a lot to you. Maybe he doesn't need to know. Option 2 of 2 say nothing. Option 1 of 2 but if it means a lot to you. Maybe he doesn't need to know. Paul says can I tell you a secret? Player says sure. Paul says sometimes I draw on the ruins. In the meadow, where Dad can't see. Option 1 of 2 The Romans would have been honored. They loved defacing monuments. Option 2 of 2 What do you draw? Paul says cats. Mom. I don't know, stuff. I probably shouldn't be talking to you. Dad won't like it. Player says you're probably right. I'll go. Until later, Paul. And hey, keep drawing, alright? Paul says I will. Bye. Paul says hello. Lenhart. Lenhart says morning. You're the Gertner's boarder, aren't you? Player says how could you tell? Lenhart says you look like a man of means. Quite unlike the Gertners. Option 1 of 2 they re-farmers. You expect them to act like kings? Option 2 of 2 they re-rustic folk, to be sure. Option 1 of 2 they re-farmers. You expect them to act like kings? Lenhart says a little dignity wouldn't hurt them. They bleat like sheep when times get hard. Only Eva's got a backbone. How is she, by the way? Option 1 of 2 What does she matter to you? Option 2 of 2 she's fine. Why? Option 1 of 2 What does she matter to you? Lenhart says I'm only curious. She used to bring their barley to me, but Peter insists on delivering it now. A shame. She'd shown some curiosity about the mill. I'd hoped to foster that. Option 1 of 2 it is a handsome mill. Option 2 of 2 is there's something special about it. Lenhart says she's the only windmill in Bavaria. Did you know? Constructed in exacting detail from Dutch specifications. The gem of the Alps. And none of the incurious dolts here can appreciate it. Option 1 of 2 yes, I'm sure it's the peasants who are the problem. Option 2 of 2 I suspect they have more urgent matters on their minds. Option 1 of 2 yes, I'm sure it's the peasants who are the problem. Player says I should be going. Until later. Lenhart says until then, mailer. Lenhart. Lenhart, Roman ruins. Player says these must be Paul's drawings. Mill. Mill. Forest. Mill. Shrine of Saint Sasha. Marie says lay the flowers just like that, Bertie. Berthold says did I pick them okay? You think Saint Sasha will like them? Marie says they're perfect. She'll like them very much. Option 1 of 2 Hello Marie, Bert. I didn't expect to see you here. Option 2 of 2 that's a beautiful bunch of flowers, Bert. Did you gather them yourself? Berthold says yes. I like the purple ones most. Player says they're handsome flowers. We don't have these where I'm from, you know. Are you leaving them for Saint Sasha? Marie says Bertie's flowers, yes, and the last of the fall's apples. Many of our store rotted when the spring damp came, but not this one. It seemed appropriate to bring it here for her. Do you know the story of Saint Sasha, Andreas? Option 1 of 2 Brother Matthew mentioned her when he told me the history of Saint Moritz. Option 2 of 2 I am not familiar with her. I take it she's a local saint? Option 1 of 2 Brother Matthew mentioned her when he told me the history of Saint Moritz. Berthold says the hand that held the Holy Lance. Marie says she is very dear to us. As dear as the famed Saint Moritz, though not as widely known. Option 1 of 3 DOES. It seem unusual to you that such a small mountain town would produce so many saints? Option 2 of 3 TRULY. Tassing has been blessed with an abundance of saints. Option 3 of 3 nod thoughtfully. Option 1 of 3 DOES. It seem unusual to you that such a small mountain town would produce so many saints? Marie says I don't know that I would call 2 saints so many. Tassing is blessed to have been founded on a great trade road, on fertile land, close to the Lord here in the Alps. Option 1 of 2 I have been no place like it, that's true. Option 2 of 2 squint skeptically. Option 1 of 2 I have been no place like it, that's true. Marie says this was once a pagan village. St. Moritz, snowed in during a bad winter, brought the town to the Lord with the aid of Saint Satia. Satia was the daughter of the town leader, the first of the pagans moved to convert. She led St. Moritz to a spring, and when he baptized her, the earth grew lush, green, rich with fruit. Option 1 of 2 WHAT fruit. Option 2 of 2 let her continue. Marie says Moritz and his starving men were saved by this miracle, and the town was brought to Christ's side. In a way, we were all saved that day. Player says what happened to Satia in the end? Marie says she was martyred for her faith, but I feel she is with us still. Don't you, Bert? Berthold says in the tree. Option 1 of 2 surely you don't believe the saint's soul persists in this oak. Option 2 of 2 tree? Marie says grown from an acorn fallen off the tree that provided the kindling for Satia's pyre. Through God's grace, she is always here with us, working her miracles. Player says she seems very important to you. Marie says it's through her work, and the Lord's grace, that I have the life I do now. I owe all the joy in my life to her. Option 1 of 2 HOW do you mean? Option 2 of 2 I appreciate you sharing that with me, Marie. I'll have much to consider on my walk. Option 1 of 2 HOW do you mean? Marie says. When Klaus and I first married, we struggled for years to start our family. I was distraught, I wanted a child desperately. I brought an offering to Saint Satia and prayed to be touched by her miracle of life, and we were blessed with Bert here. Berthold says I came from the tree. Option 1 of 2 THAT explains your wild disposition. Option 2 of 2 AND what a blessing he is. Marie says my little scamp. It's been some years since his birth, and we are struggling again. I am hoping that Satia and the Lord will once again bless us with a child. Perhaps a daughter. Option 1 of 2 I hope that for you and Klaus as well, Marie. You are wonderful parents. Option 2 of 2 The Lord did enjoin us to be fruitful and to multiply. Option 1 of 2 I hope that for you and Klaus as well, Marie. You are wonderful parents. Marie says thank you, Andreas. You're a good man and a good friend to my husband. We shouldn't keep you any longer. I hope you found peace here with us, and with Saint Satia. Player says until later, Marie. Until later, Bert. Berthold says until later. Forest. No. Lori. Alright. John. Rudu. Elizabeth. Elizabeth Marie. Alright. Sophie. Marie. Middleton. Sophie. Alright. Convent Garden. Alright. Iris House. Convent Garden. Cecilia. Cecilia says God bless you, Andreas. Player says God bless you, Mother Cecilia. Cecilia says is there something I can help you with? Option 1 of 2 I need to talk to you again about the Baron, how you walked away with the sisters when he arrived. Player says given that the Baron was just murdered, it seems worth inquiring about the cause. Cecilia says why? Do you not trust in the abbot's judgment? Option 1 of 4 it is not the abbot's judgment that matters, but the archdeacon's. Option 2 of 4 it's not that. I just want to understand what's happened. Option 3 of 4 no, of course I don't. Brother Pierrot? He wouldn't hurt a mouse. Option 4 of 4 dou? Option 1 of 4 it is not the abbot's judgment that matters, but the archdeacon's. Cecilia says all too true, but you must proceed carefully in your inquiries. The abbot does not want anything to interfere with the archdeacon's investigation. That includes you. Option 1 of 2 THEN help me. Option 2 of 2 HOW do you feel about interfering with it? Option 1 of 2 THEN help me. Cecilia says help you what? Blame someone else for the murder? Option 1 of 3 WELL. Yes. Option 2 of 3 YO you know that Pierrot didn't murder the Baron. It had to have been someone else. Option 3 of 3 HELP me find justice. Cecilia says what does justice look like, Andreas? Option 1 of 3 God knows. From Deuteronomy to the Gospels, he tells us. We must strive to find it. Option 2 of 3 I won't know until I've found out who actually did this. Option 3 of 3 YO you know that justice does not look like Pierrot dying for this murder. Option 1 of 3 God knows. From Deuteronomy to the Gospels, he tells us. We must strive to find it. Cecilia says we. Justice is the province of men, Andreas. This matter is out of my hands. Option 1 of 2 I could have mistaken you for a man considering how well you play the part of Pilate. Option 2 of 2 COME now, Mother Cecilia, have some pity for Brother Pierrot. Option 1 of 2 I could have mistaken you for a man considering how well you play the part of Pilate. Cecilia says. A harsh judgment, but I suppose not as harsh as what Brother Pierrot faces. All right. I did have reason to be concerned about Baron Rothvogel's presence. The Baron caused irreparable harm to one of the sisters on his last visit. The damage was severe enough that she had to leave us for some time. Option 1 of 2 say nothing. Option 2 of 2 WHAT kind of harm? Cecilia says irreparable. That is why I removed the sisters from his presence as soon as I could. Option 1 of 2 WHICH sister? Can I speak with her? Option 2 of 2 Are there any who may have wanted revenge? Option 1 of 2 WHICH sister? Can I speak with her? Cecilia says I know, Andreas. I don't think that would be appropriate. Option 1 of 2 ALL right. This doesn't help me much if I don't know what happened or to whom. Option 2 of 2 say nothing. Option 1 of 2 ALL right. This doesn't help me much if I don't know what happened or to whom. Cecilia says I understand this is less information than you likely wanted, but I do not think I can tell you any more in good conscience. Trust me when I say that the victim of this incident could not have killed the Baron. Player says I need more than that. Are there any records on her? On what happened? Cecilia says yes, we keep records on all the sisters in the library. Not that it does you any good. You're not allowed. Option 1 of 2 THIS again. Option 2 of 2. Could I ask Sister Illuminata to see them? Cecilia says she won't give them to you. Our records aren't available for outsiders to look through. Option 1 of 2 I can sneak in on my own, you know. I found the secret entrance in the crypt. Option 2 of 2 Sister Illuminata told me there's a secret entrance into the library. Option 1 of 2 I can sneak in on my own, you know. I found the secret entrance in the crypt. Cecilia says. Don't try it. You'll be caught and you'd be lucky if the abbot only banished you from the abbey until Judgment Day. Option 1 of 2 millimeters. We'll see. Thank you for your help. Option 2 of 2 You're probably right. God bless you, Mother Cecilia. Cecilia says may God bless you, Andreas Mailer. Until late convent garden. This shovel has blood on the blade. Not normal. I think Sister Matilda uses it in the garden. I should ask her about it. Matilda. Matilda says God bless you, Master Mailer. Player says may I ask you some questions, Sister Matilda? Matilda says you know Mother Cecilia doesn't like us talking to men unless it's truly necessary. Option 1 of 2 I have to ask you about your shovel. Option 2 of 2 Forgive me. I'll leave you to your work. Option 1 of 2 I have to ask you about your shovel. Matilda says the garden shovel? I wouldn't say it's mine. It belongs to the abbey. I just use it more than the other sisters. Player says there's blood on it. Matilda says I recently used it to kill baby rabbits in the garden. The other sisters are too squeamish to do it. I didn't clean it because it was going right back in the dirt anyway. But why bring up the shovel? Oh. I understand. No, I didn't use it to kill the Baron. A man is not a rabbit. Option 1 of 2 Sister Matilda, did you receive a strange note recently? Option 2 of 2 Thank you for your time, sister. Option 1 of 2 Sister Matilda, did you receive a strange note recently? Matilda says yes. How did you know? Option 1 of 2 Baron Rothvogel received one. Option 2 of 2 Lucky guess. Option 1 of 2 Baron Rothvogel received one. Player says what did it say? Matilda says here. Look for yourself. Matilda says remember what he did. The violence you suffered. The red bird flies. Matins. Chapter. Player says Rothvogel, the red bird. Matilda says I found it in my bed in the nuns' dormitory. You can keep it if you'd like. Player says in your bed? Who could have put it there? Matilda says the only people allowed beyond the garden are the sisters. I can't imagine any of them making this. Mother Cecilia and Sister Illuminata have beautiful handwriting, but both of them have been so kind to me. Player says thank you for your time, sister. Matilda says God bless you, Master Mailer. Sophie. Sabat. Sabat says Andreas, I am sorry about what is happening to Brother Pierrot. I do not know him well, but I find it hard to believe he could have killed the Baron. Option 1 of 2 He didn't. I'm going to figure out who did. Option 2 of 2 Do you have any idea who might have done it? Did you see anything? Sabat says sadly, no. Most mornings I spend my time reading in the courtyard but the rain made that impossible, and although the brothers are friendly, I do not know them well enough to speculate. I am sorry. I know it might be far from your mind, but have you considered my offer to eat with you and the townspeople? The Gospel says that man cannot live on bread alone, but from time to time, a little bread is required. Option 1 of 2 I need to continue looking into the Baron's murder. Perhaps later. Option 2 of 2 Not now, but perhaps later. Option 1 of 2 I need to continue looking into the Baron's murder. Perhaps later. Sabat says of course. I understand. God give you health. Player says until later. Cloister. This bloodstain is awful. It must have been left by the Baron before he died, but how? Cloister. Cloister. This bloodstain is awful. It must have been left by the Baron before he died, but how? Scriptorium. Prior's house. Player says there are deep indentations in this parchment. Whoever wrote on the page above it must have been angry. I wonder if I could make a charcoal rubbing of this page and reveal the content of the writing. Aha! Clear as an alpine day. It's a letter to the Baron from Prior Ferenc. Ah, this must be where Ferenc wrote the letter I found in the guest house. Lawrence was blackmailing Ferenc. It's the same text. Player says now that I know the connection between the astrological symbols on the cipher and the elemental symbols on the Volvelle, Ferenc's note should be easy to decipher. No, that's not it. Gerhard? As in the late brother Gerhard. Yes, yes. It can't be a coincidence. H, I, G, E, R, H, A, R, D. Brother Gerhard died sometime last year. How does this connect to him? Option 1 of 3 is it, an anagram? Using Gerhard's name? Option 2 of 3 did he use his name for an abbreviation? Option 3 of 3 why his name? Option 1 of 3 is it, an anagram? Using Gerhard's name? Player says harried? Hardier? Where does the G go? God, I'm sure Edoc would know. Option 1 of 2 THERE 7,560 different combinations to try. Option 2 of 2 MAYB it's not an anagram. Hey. Option 1 of 2 THERE 7,560 different combinations to try. Player says I don't have the time to solve it through brute force. Let me think. Option 1 of 2 did he use his name for an abbreviation? Player says that's a lot of letters for an abbreviation. A cipher inside of a cipher. Perhaps? Option 1 of 2 if it is, I am not equipped with a key to solve it, so I must proceed with other options. Player says let me think. Why his name? And why? Gerhard. Option 1 of 2 DUTCH? No. Not Flemish or French. Option 2 of 2 nothing I recognize, anyway. Option 1 of 2 DUTCH? No. Not Flemish or French. Player says let me think. Wait maybe it's an abbreviation in a name. Gerhard is the name. What's HI? Haudit ignota? No. Hin illy lacrimi? Oh, my god. It's so much simpler. Hikai asset. Here lies Gerhard. Gerhard's grave. I wonder if it has something to do with the Baron's murder. I should ask the abbot for permission to exhume the grave as soon as possible. Old Bailey.